Welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani from Department of Computer Science, Aribhat College, University of Delhi. So in this series of computer networks, in my last lecture we talked about the types of computer networks on the basis of geographical area, and we have looked into PAN, LAN, CAN, WAN and MAN. These 5 types we have looked into. Now in this lecture we are going to talk about the classification based on transmission technology. So if we talk about transmission technology, there are 3 types of networks. One is WLAN, which is a wireless local area network. Second is system area network, which is commonly known as SAN, and third one is passive optical local area network, which is POLAN. This is the classification which is based on the transmission technology. Now let us try to explore all these categorizations into detail. So WLAN, basically a type of network, that is if we talk about geographical area, that is a local area network, but it makes it is actually a local area network which makes uses of wireless network technology, which is it could be any wireless network technology like Wi-Fi, and this network does not allow devices to communicate over physical networks. As the name indicates, it is wireless local area network. So no physical cables in this local area network, but it allows devices to communicate wirelessly, not using the wire. And the most example of WLAN is nothing but your Wi-Fi. So here if we can look into, we have an access point, and there are kind of stations 1 and then station 2 and then wireless station 3, wireless station 4. So there are different wireless stations, and there is one access point which is serving the access for all these things. So this was wireless local area network. Moving on to the second one, which is SAN, system area network. So system area networks is designed to connect high performance computers within a localized and high speed environment, such as data centers or supercomputing facilities. So for example, we have data centers, and if we want our computers or devices placed on those data centers to communicate in a kind of high performance manner, so system area network is something which we will be establishing, and this also provide access to block level data storage. Now block level, when I am saying block level data storage, I am referring to RAID levels, RAID level 0, RAID level 1 and so on and so forth. So examples of a system area network could be a network of disk which is accessed by a network of server. So for example, here you can see in the figure, now there are kind of computer 1, computer 2, let us say till computer n, and all these computers are connected using LAN, and in the second kind of layer, or we can say we also have this server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4, server 5, and all these servers are actually accessing the storage which is shown in the bottom of this we can say figure. So in order to establish the connection between the server and the storage, we need a high performance a network here, and that is nothing but SAN. So if you can see, in between computers and servers we have written there is a local area network, but between servers and the storage devices there is a system area network. Moving further, if we talk about the third one, which is POLAN. POLAN is passive optical local area network. It is kind of an alternative to local area network. It uses optical splitters to split an optical signal from a single we can say fiber or single strand of single mode optical fibers to multiple signals to distribute users and devices. So there is a one optical fiber which is coming and taking some data, and at one point of time, in the connection we are using optical splitters, and after this splitter your network or your we can say bandwidth is going to split, is going to split between kind of various users and devices. So basically, in short, we can say your POLAN is actually a multi-point, it is a single to multi-point LAN architecture. So here if you can see, here we have kind of a switch, then one particular optical fiber is coming, and then that is getting kind of, we can say, splitted into various strands, and then this is going to this is going to be given to various workstations. So transmission technologies, if we talk about, we have the classification in terms of WLAN, which is wireless local area network. Then we have looked into SAN, which is a system area network, and finally as the third categorization of transmission technology, we looked into POLAN. Now in various literatures, you can say you may find different classifications, but here what I have told you in terms of geographical area and in terms of transmission technologies, these are the two main criteria. More are here, which we are going to talk about them now. But on the basis of transmission technology also, in different literatures you may find some other kind of categorizations also, but this is what I have told you is wireless LAN, system area network and POLAN are one of the kind of, we can say, most standard categorization which we looked into from the study perspective. Now classification of networks, which we started in our previous lecture, we have covered basically two types of classifications. One is on the basis of geographical area, another one which is on the basis of technology. Moving further, we have classification based on ownership and access control. So who is owning that network, who all are having access control and how much access control is there. So we can classify on the basis of this parameter of ownership and access control, we can classify networks into three main types. These are private, public and hybrid networks. We also looked into internet, we will also look into internetworks. So moving with this private, public and hybrid, let us explore private network first. As the name indicates, private networks. These are the networks which are completely owned and managed by a single organization, could be a single individual also. The owner controls who can connect, what they can do and how the data moves within the network. So the complete access control is in the hands of we can say owner. There is no outside access, and because of this restriction of outside access, these type of networks are highly secure, reliable, and often we use firewalls to protect the data which is moving in and out or which is moving between these two, and also there are strict policies and surveillance in order to maintain the kind of security and reliability of private networks, because these are actually owned and managed by single organization and individual, and they definitely do not want their data to go hayway. The common example could be a company's internal office network, which we normally called as intranet. It could be a school or college campus network, or it could be a hospital systems network storing patients' data. So this was private networks. Moving further, we have public networks. So public networks are the networks which are open to general public and are usually provided by internet service provider or businesses in public places. Now here is the keyword, public places. So basically, for example, if you go to airport, so then there is a network which you can access, but the problem, They offer very basic services, no authentication is kind of required, hence they are kind of less secure and more vulnerable to attacks. So it is advisable to use them kind of very carefully, and also to use them for the purposes which are not kind of very private or very confidential. So examples of this public network includes any public Wi-Fi at a cafe or maybe a or airport, we can say. Any free hotspot which is available in any kind of city center, or even internet, which is the largest public network, is also type of a public network. It is not privately owned or governed or privately owned or kind of controlled by anyone. So internet is also comes under the category of public network, which is one of the largest public network. So we have seen two categories of the networks on the basis of ownership and access control. Moving further, we have hybrid network. Hybrid network, as the name indicates, hybrid. It blends private and public access both. It offers flexibility, but there is role based access control. So there is a role based access control, in the sense on the basis of which role you are kind of getting into, you are logging into, that kind of or that variety of access control is being given to you. So some parts are kind of restricted. For example, internal systems are restricted for outside users, while others are open, like it could be a guest Wi-Fi, something of that sort. So for example, you check in a hotel and then there is a guest Wi-Fi. Using that guest Wi-Fi or using that particular network, you will not be able to control, or you will not be able to access even every kind of portion of that network. The access is going to be limited. So there is a private access, also there is a public access too. So basically a hybrid network which blends private and public access, and this kind of setup is actually useful in the environments where different users need different kind of access levels. So for example, we have a university network with private access for staff and students, then we have limited access for the guest faculties which are coming on in over there. So for example, let us say guest faculty is taking one particular paper. So only kind of a student list of that particular paper is available to that guest faculty, while the permanent faculty or the permanent staff or students may have their different kind of access control domains kind of thing. So after this public, private and hybrid network, let us move on to one of the kind of term which is commonly used nowadays, that is inter-network. So basically a setup where two or more networks, now these networks could be local area networks or wide area networks, are interconnected. How they are interconnected? Using internetworking elements. We are yet to read about those internetworking elements, but yes, I can give you some names over here. So basically your internetwork is kind of network, or it is a setup where two or more networks, these networks could be local area networks or wide area networks, are interconnected using routers or gateways. Now these routers or gateways are actually your internetworking elements, which we will be exploring in our upcoming lectures. And using these routers and gateways, we can say communication is allowed between these various local area networks and wide area networks. And because of many networks or more than one network getting involved here, this process or this setup is known as internetwork, and the process henceforth is known as internetworking. And if we talk about the types of internetworking, there are basically two types of internetworking. One is intranet, another one is extranet. Now these are also two different terms which are very frequently used if we talk about if we talk about normal computer networks. So intranet, as I have told you, is a private network within an organization. It allows employees to access internal tools, documents and systems, but in a secure manner. Obviously not available to the public and typically uses private IP addresses. For example, various companies have their different HR portals, different or internal knowledge bases, or even staff only communication tools are there, through which staff is able to communicate among themselves, or staff is able to communicate to HR or higher authorities. So this is what we call is actually a typical setup of intranet. Moving further, if we talk about extranet, it is actually an kind of extension of intranet that provides a limited and a secure access to the outsider also. Now, which all outsiders I am talking about? These outsiders can be their partners, different vendors, or their clients. So it is used to collaborate across organizations while maintaining their internal security. So for example, we have various suppliers portals, where various client dashboard for project updates, or we can have various partner login system for shared services. So that's basically what we called extranet. In my mind presently there is going on a very common example of extranet, which is kind of admission portal of, let's say, Delhi University. So Delhi University internal is handling that admission portal, that is the intranet part of it, and what a user or a kind of a student who is seeking an admission can see is having a different portal, which is obviously connected to that intranet, but it provides a limited access, and also it is an extension of that intranet, and it is a way to send the information or get the information. So all these are supplier portals or admission portals, clients dashboards are basically examples of your extranet. We have looked into, on the basis of access control and your ownership, we have looked into public, private and hybrid, and then we have looked into the term internetworking as the two types, which is intranet and extranet. Moving further, if we talk about computer networks, so computer network is something which joins, it is actually a setup which joins your different devices, and using different devices, and in that setup they are able to communicate with each other. Now communication is taking place. So communication is taking place actually over a media. If we talk about that media could be wired or it could be wireless. So now basically my topic which I am going to begin is transmission media. So transmission media is basically the media over which communication takes place in computer networks. It could be wired or it could be we can say non-wired. And one special category here is also kind of what we call is as magnetic media. If we want to transfer data from one particular end of the network or one particular terminal of the network to another terminal, and let's say there is no kind of pathway between them, then what is going to be the most convenient way to transfer data from one computer to another? Or even if I am talking about magnetic media, this is the way of transfer even before the birth of networking. So even if there is no networking, and if we want to transfer data from one terminal to another terminal, the idea is magnetic media. So magnetic media is something which is simple. You just store or you just save your data on some storage media and transfer that media physically from one station to another station. So that is what my magnetic media is. Now here some may argue that even this was available even before the birth of networking, then we should not count here, this in the terms of transmission media, but this is a way to transmit, data from one end to another. Rest is like this. Though it may seem some old fashioned way, but because nowadays in today's world we have a high speed internet, so transferring data using magnetic media is kind of what I am talking about is, some old fashioned days I have told you. But when the size of the data is very huge, this magnetic media comes into play and helped actually a lot. Apart from this magnetic media, which personally I am not going to keep under the category of, neither under the category of wired media nor under the category of wireless media. So that stands separately. If we talk about wired media, we have different categories. Wired, as you understand, there is a communication pathway, there is a wire, or we can simply say there is a cable between the two ends which want to communicate between themselves. Now, how many types of these wired media can be there? Now, wired media can be of various types, but the most common one, if we talk about, are twisted pair cable. Apart from this twisted pair cable, we have your coaxial cable, and then we also will also study fiber optic cables. Now, what is the difference between these kind of what we can say different transmission media? The difference lies between because of various factors, because of the kind of transmission speed, because of the bandwidth, how much data that they can transfer, how speedily, how swiftly they can transfer. So, we have different medias, as I have told you, one is twisted pair cable, another one is a coaxial cable, and then nowadays we have kind of fiber optic cables. Fiber optic cables are we can say presently, which are the most we can say fast available. They are more kind of fault tolerance. Obviously, they are kind of little more expensive, that is there. So, the trade off goes between the performance as well as the cost, and twisted pair cable and coaxial cables are actually kind of, we can say, are lesser than, in terms of speed and performance, lesser than the fiber optic networks. So, we are yet to look into all these categories or all these types of transmission media into detail. We will be definitely looking into the advantages, disadvantages, what are the characteristics of each and every media. So, this was, I talked about wired media. If we look into the next side, which is the wireless media, can you give me an example which is kind of an example of wireless media? So, a remote and a TV are operating in a wireless fashion. So, that is a wireless media. So, any kind of a radio waves, or even a microwaves, or even waves from a satellite, all these can be the category of wireless media, because ultimately it is a communication which is happening between the two ends of the system. So, if we talk about the summary of this lecture, we looked into the types of networks on the basis of ownership and access control. Within that we have private networks, we have public networks, we have hybrid networks also. Then the two common terms, which are intranet and extranet, which falls under the category of internetworking. And then we looked into the different types of transmission media, although we have not looked into each one of them in details. So, basically transmission media, if I am talking about the physical or guided one, we have twisted pair, coaxial cable, fiber optics are the main, there can be others also. And in case of non-wired or non-physical, if we talk about, so we can have your infrared, we can have radio waves, we can have microwaves, we can have satellite technology, and so on and so forth. So, here is a list of references which is being used for the preparation of lecture. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next. Till then, take care. Goodbye.